Heating with wood chips for schools, institutions, businesses is cheaper than oil, propane, or electricity. And in addition, it adds jobs to the local economy and keeps money circulating in our local economy as opposed to sending it elsewhere when we're buying fossil fuel resources. 80% of that money leaves the province. It goes to other provinces or countries and multinational corporations. When we spend that money instead on wood chips for heating, that money stays local and stays in the economy here.
And that's why we picked biomass. It was saving us money compared to the electricity we were consuming to heat the building. It creates local employment, and it also reduced our carbon emissions.
Biothermic is the only company in Ontario that supplies modern wood heating systems and wood pellet and wood chip fuel for those systems. Through this video, we're going to show you one way that we're doing this in Thunder Bay, Ontario.
It's going to allow us to really increase our production in our greenhouse through the coldest months of the year here. And living in Northern Ontario means we have a long sustained period like that, which we haven't really been able to take advantage of due to our heating costs in the past. So it's been really nice to get this system from someone who could treat us locally, and that we can use local wood chips for it, and again then produce more local products and food for our community through the winter months.
Using wood as a heat source is a financial and environmental win. Trees are cheap, they're plentiful in Canada, and they can be grown sustainably forever. We're here in Thunder Bay at one of our tree pruning sites. The crew behind us is pruning the silver maple tree, removing dead branches, poorly attached branches, making the tree healthier. They'll take those branches and run them through the chipper, and then those chips will go back to our facility for processing and drying. One of the biggest sources for wood chips is sawmill residues or forest operations residues, but the urban forest yields a lot of wood chips as well. And the operations that go on here are inevitable and happen all the time and every day. Typically, the wood chips that are produced from an operation like this are used for compost or mulch. In Thunder Bay, almost all of our chips are used for energy. We're at Mooney Street in Thunder Bay, and this is our wood chip processing and storage facility where we take wood chips from the urban forests and put them through a screening plant and then store them in this big building where they can dry, and then we can use them all winter long. When the wood chips come into the yard, they've just been pruned from a live tree, so they're green. The moisture content is around 45 or 50%, maybe even higher. We need to get that down to 35%. So what we do is we leave them in a big pile. We have some decomposition starting that adds a lot of heat to the pile and it drives moisture out. If we allow that to happen and new moisture doesn't come in, then the pile ends up drying down to 20% moisture content. Wood chip heating is challenging. It's difficult to acquire wood chips in the right form for modern wood chip heating systems. These chips here are raw wood chips that come in straight from the tree care trucks. And as you can see, they're really irregular. Lots of sticks and twigs and long stuff that won't go through augers in an automated process. We have to take this and put it through our screening plant in order to get a consistent wood chip, and then we can get it into the drying process. So what we do is we take the wood chips from here with a front end loader and we put them into the screening plant in this tail end hopper, which then meters the wood chips up the long belt onto the screening plant. The screening plant separates the chips into three categories: stuff that's too big, stuff that's too small, and stuff that's just right. The stuff that's just right comes off this belt and then gets put in the building. The chips that are too small fall below and they get set aside and sent to a bigger boiler or used for mulch or compost. And the chips that are too big fall off the end and they get sent to a bigger boiler as well. Chips that are just right, they go into the building and they start the natural drying process. This dome is 5,000 square feet. There's 6-foot high concrete walls on the side, which are important to hold in the pile and give us the ability to store higher. And it holds about 50% of what we need for an entire season for our clients.
Everybody spends money on energy, but by switching fuel types, instead of writing a check to a large multinational corporation, you will be writing a check to a local supplier, so that money stays in the community and recirculates, and there's enormous benefits to that. It's triple bottom line, right? We save money, create local jobs, and reduce carbon emissions.
This is a huge opportunity for a province like Ontario, which is an importer of almost all of our fossil fuels.
People are looking for opportunities, I think, to cut costs in their own businesses, so this is going to be another avenue for them to explore on their farms or in other businesses around this area for sure. As we look to the future, you know, with the price of carbon going up and biomass, wood chips being a renewable resource, they're going to be able to remain very economical, so it's going to be a great option, I think, for people in the north in particular.